Want to wish everybody good evening. Today's Tuesday. It's about 7 p.m. Eastern, and I have a message for you guys today. Hi, Dave. Thank you for coming on. So I know I had not advertised that I will have this live show, so some of you will watch the recording. And topic today is a very important one, and some of you guys who are moving along with your plans will find it. I hope that you will find it very interesting, and you can learn and consider things um, before the time to take big decisions. And the topic is new life in US. A Ukrainian woman is trusting you with her life. She accepted your offer. She said yes. And so you're making these big plans. You planning to be with her in Ukraine. I mean, I apologize. Be you plan you planning to be with her in United States. And here is the question: what's about the future? What this holds for her? Um, her adjusting process. How would she find herself? Should she worry or think about career, new career, old career? Should she just think about having children? Like, what's going on? How to find a good path? How to make adjustment better? And also, I want to help you a little bit, guys, when you're gonna be considering these choices. What to choose and which way to go, because it's very easy to go very much one-sided, and that can cause problems in future. And before I start, I want to say that I do offer consulting. I had consulted a number of Ukrainian women through my clients because they wanted to make the process less stressful, understandable, and also they want me to talk with the ladies and help them to understand like what their life will be like, because it's different when you try to explain your Ukrainian lady how the life will be like, and then you it's harder for her to relate to you than to relate to another person who is either from Russia or Ukraine, and for example like myself, or maybe somebody else who is successful in US, who is happy, maybe had a tough situation, maybe overcome some obstacles, but now doing really well. Ukrainian women have a number of barriers in their head, and I can really help them, to reassure them, make them feel comfortable. And you can use my service. Once again, you might have somebody that can talk on your behalf. And what that is about, just to give a lady an idea of what she can do when she gets here, because there is definitely adjusting. There is language, there is different levels of education, there is different ages. I talk with women from their 20s to their 50s, so it's all very it depends. And ladies have questions from, oh my gosh, what's happened if things don't work out with us, or oh my gosh, how do I transfer my degree, or oh goodness, I want to have a child, how do I know he will support me? All these questions sometimes can cripple in, and you guys have work to do, business to do. You don't have time to not that you don't have time, but it's hard for you to always feel how she feels and reassure her on things you don't know, because you had never readjusted to you've been born here and you live here all your life or most of your life, so you didn't go through that. So thank you, Dave. Thanks so much for support. I hope that you will take value from this message today. I appreciate it. Thank you. So that's what I'm saying. Once again, I offer this service. Dave will throw some links And yes, Dave, you can put those links in the chat. You guys can join my Patreon account. There gonna be a ton of content that's not gonna be on YouTube, and also you can personally ask me questions there and comment, and I can make content just for you, for the followers over there. I've been away for a while, so also you can follow my Facebook page. My email is gonna be here, so you can contact me via email if you have questions. I'm really booked up right now with sessions, but I can. I have 1 or 2 openings in the end of the week, and then next week too. Just so you guys know that there is a need for somebody to reassure and support your lady. It's a lot harder for her than for you, because you are not moving to another country, most likely you're staying here, and she needs to have full trust in you, and also full trust in the countries that she never been to. So that's make it a little bit more difficult. So let's get started, and I might make a series of videos on this. This one is inspired by my last session today. I actually had a conversation with a lady from Kharkov, and I would like to address some of those concerns that she had, so you have an idea what your lady might need help with. Of course, you can ask her, but you can consider, because it's hard to consider when you've never done something yourself. So number one fear or concern is about losing your identity. So for example, your lady most likely has some kind of job or career or passion project that she is doing in Ukraine, right? So you might think, oh my gosh, she makes a dollar, like $2 an hour, or maybe she makes, $300. That's a good salary right now in Ukraine. She can work in a grocery store and make a lot more a month. But one thing you need to consider that Ukrainian women are often all about the status and about the identity. If she has a professional career, maybe she's a doctor or a lawyer, or she works in a company, maybe it's a travel company, maybe it's whatever her specifics are, whatever her profession is, there is something more than money for us people, for Slavic people. And I don't think, and I think for other nationalities as well, is that you get satisfaction from being on your place and doing your thing. You have some social status, you have some social proof, you have your place, your identity. So even if somebody makes $300, let's just say $300 a month in Ukraine, and they have like a decent careers, they enjoy what they like doing, and you come along and you say, hey, this job here, helping at the supermarket, you can make $1,200 a month, like, for example. For some women, that is extremely hard thing to do, not because they're afraid of work, but because you lose your identity. She might have some unique skills. She might be doing something that she went to school for, that she studied for, and she's so good at it. Yes, you look at this, you make dimes, you make cents on your work, and that's a practical approach. But we need to not to forget about the moral, the mental satisfaction. So what I will do, if I'm helping you with this thing, I will explain her that yes, there might be a step when she might need to work somewhere as a cashier or helper, even just to get the language, even just to get comfortable. But that's only going to be a step. That, there are more possibilities, and also she doesn't have to be necessarily to have a job. If she doesn't want to, she can maybe start her own thing, or she can maybe help you in your business, uh, just to start. So it takes some work to really some work of explanation to really help the person to understand that they are in a good hands. And at first, they might need some time to transfer their degree, or to go a couple years to school, or start a business, but they're not gonna be stuck as a cashier. One thing I've noticed, that it's just really crazy, but people, when I came here 10 years ago, I have people at the store that 10 years ago they were here and they were a cashier. That's all they you do. For 10 years they've never changed their career. With ambitious Ukrainian and Russian women, we're not going to stop and just stuck in that job. Most of us are very ambitious and very driven, and we can use a job as a step. Even if you make enough of money and you want your wife to be at home, you actually might consider to let her get out of the house, and maybe let her work 1 or 2 days a week, so she can get out, she can explore life a little bit on her own. She can pick up on language, the speaking, the slang even, so she can kind of be a little bit of her own woman, so she does not lose that identity, and she knows that whatever job she takes first is just temporary thing that will help her to socialize, will help her to improve her skills, and she doesn't have to be stuck being a cashier or work at the gas station or something like that, because she has more to look forward. Our people on average are a lot more ambitious. Of course, I live in a small town, and it's funny because when I started my business, I didn't there was not very many people who had faith in what I was doing, just to say that. And I'm really glad that I sticked with that, with that passion, or that idea that I had in my head. And here comes another point. I had a child. I had a son, 9 months in US, so maybe 10. I had a son, and that was a blessing. But I wanted to. I was wondering what I will do here. Of course, in our culture, we usually don't give our children when they're 2, 3 months old to the daycare. We usually wait quite a bit. So, at the first 10 months or a year when he was born, I wanted to be with him more than anything. I wanted to be. I didn't want to miss out. It was a great bonding time, and I will never forget. It was amazing to be a mother to a beautiful boy. When he was about a year old, I started to think, what can I do? And you might have this dilemma, because you might be at that age and that time in your life when you want to have a kid. Maybe you were this career guy that worked all his life, and right now looking for a wife, and you want to have a child soon, because you've been waiting for this. So in this case, you can consider, letting her develop in her own way, and uh, supporting her. Let her know. I can also help her to understand that if she would have a child, that you would take care of, supporting the family. Because in our culture, once again, it's not common for women to go to work, especially some job like, basic jobs, when your child is just a couple months old. That's not what we do. We at least stay like for 1 year till he at least can, you know, like just be a little bit more independent. We don't really trust the daycare of tiny kids, but that's a different topic. So anyways, what I'm trying to say is this: I'm really glad that I started doing things here and there when he was about a year old. It turned out to be a life saving in the long term because I started to get familiar with things, learning about things, PayPal, credit cards. I worked at the store. It was a boutique, and I made 770 per hour. And let me tell you that I was thrilled to make. I was so excited. So I would work like 1 day a week or 2 days a week, and my son was in a daycare for just that 1 day when he was a year old, and I was making some money. I was so excited because they were my own money. I could buy my husband a gift. I could pay for something. But actually what I did is I saved all the money I made at the store, and then when we had a rainy day, I pulled up my savings and said, here. So you want empower your lady. If you want to have kids, don't just push things into kids. Oh, you don't need to take English as a second language. Oh, you don't need to work at all. Don't worry about this, don't worry about that. One thing you don't want to do is you don't not want to disempower her. If she used to be independent in Ukraine, yes, she might take 1 year of maternity leave, or maybe a little bit more. But if she does not have her identity, if she doesn't have money of her own, if she doesn't, even if it's a tiny money, if she is not getting adjusted to this country, if she is not uh, exploring, having some of your own experiences, in the long run, it can be a negative thing in your relationship. Not to mention that you might have a hard time yourself. Uh, Sometimes you have great business and money rolling in and you have savings, but another time you get a huge medical bill, or you have unexpected expenses, or you have an issue with your business. And if your wife did not gain any skills and she did not learn anything, she only was home with kids, that might be a tough situation, because you don't want to turn your life in US as a test she was not prepared for. You know how in school you take a test, and if you were not preparing, you were not learning anything, you're gonna fail. So you don't want life in US to be the test for her that she never get prepared for. You want her to be prepared for the test. You want her to feel her power, to feel that she owns it. She learns the language. Yes, maybe she raised a child and you are there to support, but you don't just make her life convenient to you. She learns how to drive. She learns how to get around. She learns the basic communication skills. She learns about the bank and the money and the budget. So it will take a day at a time. It's a lot of work, it's a lot of adjustments. But number one thing, for example, what I was doing today is I had a client and we talked about that. For this lady, her identity was really important. She was concerned about how will she find a way here because she has a successful career in Ukraine. And I was able to tell her about what alternatives she has here, what future. And she realized that although she's successful there, she can be a hell of a successful woman here. It will take time, it will take persistence, it will take some adjustment, but she will be able to make 10 times at the very least more return. And in the end, it will actually lift her self-esteem. Let's say she's a lawyer in Ukraine. What, she maybe gets 200, $300 a month. Yes, she's happy, she loves her job, but if she stick with some school, she takes some classes, she can work for immigration lawyer here and learn, and then she can make that an hour when she was making a month. So in a big picture, she can have a great life, and she can have a family. I do not believe that you necessarily need to choose either family or career. You can handle both, and that will depend on your wisdom as a leader, as a person that guides the family, right? And once again, you gotta be empathetic and understandable as much as you can. If you have somebody who you know here in US who is successful, came from Ukraine, and done very well and feels happy, because for us it's not just the money, it's about feeling happy, feeling fulfilled, feeling alive. And a lot of Ukrainian and Russian and Slavic women and men too come here, and they really create a great life because they are very resilient, they have drive, and they know what they want. It is very difficult. And once again, I no longer make 770 an hour, but some people still do. Some people, as I said, when I came here, they had the same job that they have right now. And when people ask me what I do, I often don't even say, because um, there is a small town mentality that if you don't have a job, you're probably poor and starving. And you guys know I have my own fur business, and I do consulting, and I consider myself just starting out. I honestly didn't have that much support in my endeavors, but that was fine. That was a lesson of itself, to push through and to learn. And your lady, most likely, especially if she is a driven person to begin with, she can do just as well or better. Now you can have a different um, a different situation. She might be person that worked all her life and she wants to rest, or it can be a combination of things. But that's why it's best. I'm always happy to make these general videos, but it's best to work with a particular case, because exactly what's going on, exactly the circumstances. And whether your focus is that you have a family and you have children, or you want her to support you, to be your backup in your business, in terms of she's supporting you. Maybe she's not at your office, but she's supporting you, she's encouraging you. Maybe she makes your favorite food, and maybe she does helping you, taking some calls, or doing some errands for you. But to be very honest, the best thing is, though, if she will end up having her own thing. She might be with you part-time, but also having her own thing. Because once again, the self-identity is a big thing. It might be bigger than you imagine. People afraid to lose who they are and start over, especially when they're in their later in life, or even early in life, even in your 20s. When you, let's say you are in your mid 20s and you come and you're 5 years old again, you need to learn everything over again. So that's just like a general some general ideas and thoughts. I did throw some examples in it. You cannot be selfish, guys. One more thing I want to say: you cannot be selfish. If you want your wife sort of just to be home, just to help you, that's great. But think about that. What if something happens to you? And some of you guys are older, some of you in your 50s and 60s. What if something happens with you tomorrow? Of course, you're planning to live longer, you're planning to live, we're all hoping for the best. But life is such. Do you even realize what kind of pain she's gonna be in if you are gone Maybe you didn't have that many savings, and even if you did, she will not know how to put gas in her car. She will not know how to drive. She won't be able to speak fully language. She will be in a terrible stress, by losing you and being feeling like you're nobody in this country. So if you want to, true love is when you love in such a way that the other person feels free. If you want her to be happy, you will not try to control her every step. You will want her to be independent. You will want her to have her own circle of friends, her own circle of influence, her career or study or job or business, whatever she will choose to do. You don't want to control her every step. You want to be um, the man of your word, that you promised her a better life and you will deliver that to her. Most women, even in their midlife, when they come here, they want to uh, start a new life. They are eager to learn a new skill, to try to work in another country, to explore. So encourage that. Don't be selfish. Always think about this. What if I'm not around? What she will do? Because you are the main person that she has. You are her world. So it's sort of like a mother and a child. The smart mother doesn't make her child dependent on every single thing. A smart mother uh, trusts that her child is developing, it's becoming independent, and can do things on their own and can live without her. Like, as a mother, it hurts for me to say this, but I'm preparing every day my son to live without me, because I don't know what's going to be tomorrow. I'm trying to install the good values, the good beliefs, the behavior patterns. I'm watching over his habits, and I let him do things independently. Also, I'm tempted to do them for him. I'm tempted to protect him from life. But even though sometimes my heart is aching, but I let him go out there and do his thing. Like, for example, my son is 9 years old. When we were in Ukraine, I was living at my mom's place. I let him go and shop. He went shopping by himself in Ukraine. He went out of the building, went to the shop, bought what he wanted, figured out conversation with the seller, and came back all by himself. Like, in the US, they would probably call cops on me because he's under 13 and he's not supposed to be on the street alone. And that was a foreign country for him. But I let him do that. He told me, Mom, I want to go shopping. I said, all right. Yeah, I tell you this. I was looking out from the window and was slightly terrifying. But that's what you do. You don't want to have a person that you love, whether it's a small child or your woman, you don't want them to be dependent from you, because dependency kills love. It really does. You stealing away somebody's identity, and that is not a good base for a relationship. So, he felt great about himself. He came back with a bunch of ice cream and things I didn't let him buy, and it was a great time. He made it. He opened the door. Just took care of himself. I was shopping since I was 6 years old by myself. I was doing my laundry when I was 7. I was watching my sister when I was 6 and my sister was 1.5. I was watching her by myself at home. In the US, my parents would go to jail for this. But in my life, independency and adjusting helped me so much later in life. So encourage that. See a strong person in your woman. And of course, let her be herself. Find a new best version of yourself being here in the US. So guys, I hope you enjoyed my presentation. I will look through some questions right now. I do not read comments in the middle of the text, because people who watch my presentation later, it's very hard to get the message when it's consistently interrupted by comments. And I kindly ask you guys, when I have a topic, I would appreciate if you respect me enough to actually stay on the topic, because it's very distracting if you try to run a live show and people ask you about the weather when you talk about something else. It really shows you it's really very hard to focus. So I would appreciate if you stay on the topic. And if you want to send me a message, you can you can comment under the video, but you can also put my email, consultveronica@gmail.com. Dave, if you're still here, could you drop all the links that I gave you in the chat? I don't know if maybe you've done that. Could you drop all of my links so you can have a link to my Facebook page, to my email, to my Patreon account, my PayPal account, all of that. Dave has, I hope he can drop it right now to the chat. If not, I will post it right under the video. So, all right, so I'm gonna just look real quick. I see you guys had some, hey Lance, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate the support. Thank you so much, dear. I hope things are going well for you. By the way, we're having a call with VIP members on September 15th. It's Saturday. It is 10 a.m. Eastern time. So if you want to join, please let me know. Oh, damn, I can't really... I'm trying to look at the chat right now. All right, I don't see any comments that actually are relevant to my topic. I appreciate you guys coming, and thank you for the compliments. Thank you for the kind words. Lawrence, Lance, Dave, Matt, Green King. Let's see who else. Thank you guys. I saw that you don't really have any particular questions for me. So I wish you a wonderful evening. I have to go now, and I hope that you will find value in this video. Please don't be selfish, be considerate. Think about the huge adjustments that your lady will need here, but she has great chances to be happy inside and outside and successful, and there are so many opportunities. And if you need my help, if you need me to reassure her and support her and let her know that it's all gonna work out and she will make friends, and she will, if she wants to advance her career or she wants to have her own business, maybe she wants to do some handy things. Ukrainian women are so talented. Some of them can cook and create and sew and design and decorate, that you would think they went to school for it. And nowadays, in the time of internet, she can make a 6-figure income from home if she wants to. So I'm having, actually, it's interesting, this week and next week I'm consulting women through some of my subscribers and followers to make them feel good. And I love that, because I love having going in the end of the conversation, hearing, oh my God, thank you so much, I feel so much better now, I'm excited. And when the conversation started, they're like, hello, because they're always a little bit suspicious about if they need to talk to another female, but I very quickly let them know that I'm not a competition and I'm here to make them comfortable and help and support. So I'm very good at communicating with people, especially from my own culture. So if you need any help, please let me know. Otherwise, I will see you later. Post some ideas, post some topics, share your vision under this video. Share your vision. How do you see your life with your Ukrainian lady? And I will look at your comments and come up with more content for you guys. Thank you so much, and I will see you soon.